The morning light filters through the window, golden and tentative like memories that insist on visiting your heart. Have you felt it too? That gentle trembling in the air, as if the world itself is holding its breath. Many of us walk through our days carrying an unnamed weight, a strange feeling that something profound is approaching. Not just another crisis, but a transition of souls. You watch the news, you see the chaos, and something deeper than your mind whispers, "This isn't just disorder, this is rebirth." But when you try to explain this feeling to others, they dismiss it as anxiety or imagination. How lonely it feels to perceive what others cannot yet see. The birds know it, the trees sense it, and your soul, that ancient wise part of you, recognizes these signs like an old language coming back to you in fragments of dreams and sudden insights. Your intuition isn't broken, it's awakening. I remember Sarah, a woman who lived by the coast in Maine. For months, she dreamed of rising waters, night after night. Her family worried about her mental health until the day a researcher confirmed that the tides in their region had indeed been changing in unprecedented patterns. What science took years to document, her soul knew instantly. Like a harp string that vibrates when its matching note is played somewhere else in the room, our souls resonate with Earth's transitions before our minds can name them. The anxiety you feel isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Those moments when you wake at 3 a.m. with an inexplicable urgency, the recurring dreams of dark skies or transformative waters, the synchronicities that appear like breadcrumbs on a forest path, these are your soul's compass points in changing times. Edgar Cayce described these times as the birth pangs of a new world. Consider how a mother's body knows what to do during labor before her conscious mind can direct it. The discomfort serves a sacred purpose. What if your unease is not something to medicate away but to listen to with reverence? What if it's preparing you for what comes next? The outer chaos reflects our collective soul trying to break through old patterns. Like a butterfly in its chrysalis, the struggle is necessary for new wings to emerge. The discomfort you feel is not punishment, it's transformation. Begin a spiritual journal today. Record your dreams, intuitions, and the signs you perceive throughout your day. This practice strengthens your inner trust and transforms vague premonitions into symbolic language with personal meaning. Your sensitivity is not a burden. It's a gift the world desperately needs now. Have you noticed how your center feels displaced? As if something fundamental within you has shifted position? Many women tell me their emotions oscillate wildly, their identities fragment, and values once firm now seem confused. It's as if everything is coming unmoored, especially within the chest where the heart once felt secure. The Earth's magnetic poles are gradually shifting position, a scientific fact. But Cayce spoke of another kind of pole reversal, the spiritual inversion where what was hidden becomes visible, where the material surrenders to the sacred, where control dissolves into divine flow. Your disorientation is evidence of this holy reordering. Imagine an old farmhouse during renovation. First comes the dismantling. Walls torn down, floors pulled up, familiar spaces rendered unrecognizable. The dust and noise feel chaotic until you remember. This destruction serves creation. Your soul is under renovation. The very axis of your being is finding a new alignment, not with the temporary, but with the eternal. In ancient alchemical texts, scholars wrote of the turning wheel of the world and insisted that the true axis is the awakened heart. When external foundations crumble, we must anchor to what cannot be shaken. What remains when everything familiar falls away? Only love, only truth, only the essence that transcends time. Many nights you lie awake, body exhausted but mind electric with thoughts. The chronic fatigue, increased sensitivity, and fragmented sleep aren't just symptoms of modern stress. There's a neuro-emotional shift happening that doctors can't quite diagnose because it transcends the merely physical. Scientists now study the Schumann resonance, Earth's vibrational frequency, which has been fluctuating dramatically in recent years. Our brains and hearts generate electromagnetic fields that interact with the planet's field. When Earth trembles electromagnetically, so do we. Your fatigue isn't just yours, It belongs to a world in transition. Think of a mother and child in adjacent rooms. When the mother becomes anxious, the child often grows restless without knowing why. We are Earth's children. Her distress registers in our nervous systems before it reaches our conscious awareness. Your body receives these signals like weather before the storm. Breathe with me now. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Feel your field stabilizing, coming home to itself. This simple practice realigns your electromagnetic pattern. Add daily nature immersion and digital disconnection, and you create islands of peace in the storm. I want to share something I've observed in my work with thousands of sensitive souls. Those who resist these energetic shifts often experience them as illness or anxiety. Those who surrender to them, who float rather than fight the current, find themselves carried to unexpected shores of insight and peace. Your body's wisdom runs deeper than your fear. Trust it to guide you through this transition. There was an elderly woman named Eleanor who came to me complaining of heart palpitations and insomnia that coincided with solar flare activity. Her doctor found nothing physically wrong. Instead of medicating symptoms, she began spending dawn and dusk barefoot in her garden, hands in soil, face toward sky. I stopped fighting the energy, she told me 3 months later, and started channeling it instead. Her symptoms transformed into heightened intuition and creative inspiration. The very sensitivity that had been her burden became her bridge to deeper purpose. The ancient temples were built on energy vortexes, places where Earth's electromagnetic field was particularly powerful. The priests and priestesses who served there were chosen specifically for their sensitivity to these energies. What we now pathologize as too sensitive was once recognized as spiritual giftedness. You are not malfunctioning. You are remembering an ancient way of being that humanity once honored. Each night before sleep, place your hands on your heart center and visualize your electromagnetic field, that invisible egg of energy surrounding your body, being cleared of static and distortion. See it pulsing with clear, coherent light. This simple practice creates a sanctuary of calm within the storm of collective transition. I want to share a letter I received from someone who has made this journey before us, a soul who sees from the other side of the veil. My beloved, I see your struggle from where I stand now. If only you could see what I see. How temporary this chaos truly is. How purposeful each challenge. The world you knew is indeed falling away, but not into nothingness. It falls into truth, like a theater set being dismantled to reveal the actual landscape behind it. What appears as destruction is actually unveiling. I watch you clutching familiar structures, relationships that no longer serve, beliefs that have grown too small for your expanding soul. Please understand, these losses are not punishments but invitations. The universe never takes without giving something greater in return. Your tears are sacred. Your confusion is the beginning of clarity. Your loneliness prepares space for true communion. I am not gone. I have simply stepped behind the curtain of the visible world to help prepare what comes next. Trust the empty spaces. Trust the silence. Trust the mysterious pull towards something you cannot yet name but your soul already recognizes. I hold your hand from this side as the bridge between worlds grows shorter each day. The love we share has never dimmed. It has only changed form, like water to vapor, still present, just differently visible. I am the warmth you feel when there's no logical source, the answer that arrives before you formed the question, the certainty beneath your doubt. Rest in this truth. Nothing real can be lost. What dies when prophecy fulfills itself? Not the world, but our illusions about it. Not love, but our limitations of it. Not you, but the shell that contained you. The Greek root of apocalypse means unveiling, the moment when the curtain falls away. What if this time isn't the end of everything, but the beginning of what's real? Consider the caterpillar that enters the chrysalis. From its perspective, the world is ending. Its body literally dissolves into a cellular soup before reforming as a butterfly. What appears as death is actually transformation. What feels like disintegration is actually becoming. We stand collectively in the chrysalis now. The structures that once defined your life, perhaps a career that gave identity, relationships that provided security, beliefs that offered certainty, may be dissolving. Rather than evidence of failure, this dissolution might be the necessary preparation for emergence into something truer. The butterfly cannot emerge while clinging to its caterpillar identity. Edgar Cayce spoke of the Hall of Records, a metaphysical library containing the soul's journey across time. In moments of great transition, he said, we gain unusual access to these records. The dreams, visions, and intuitive flashes you experience now may be glimpses into your soul's larger story. They remind you, you have weathered great changes before. You have dissolved and reformed. You have forgotten and remembered your essential nature countless times. Write a symbolic farewell letter to your former self, to beliefs that no longer serve, wounds that no longer teach, attachments that no longer nourish. Burn or bury it as a release ritual. Then ask yourself, who am I that is being born now? The answer may arrive as a whisper, a feeling, or a sudden knowing. You worry about protecting your children, grandchildren, your home from what's coming. This maternal instinct runs deep, but consider Noah's Ark. It wasn't just a physical vessel, but a symbol of the prepared soul, the heart that heeds intuition, the spirit that builds sanctuary before the visible storm. There was a woman named Claire who lived through a devastating hurricane. While others frantically stockpiled material supplies, she quietly prepared her inner resources, deepening her prayer practice, strengthening community bonds, cultivating unshakable peace. When the storm hit and physical structures failed, her spiritual preparation created a field of calm that benefited everyone around her. I realized, she told me later, that the most valuable emergency supply was my own centered presence. Cayce recommended natural nutrition, regular prayer, inner silence, and connection with higher spirit as preparations for great transitions. This isn't about stockpiling supplies, but fortifying your inner temple. A strong soul becomes shelter for many. Think of the ancient redwood forests. When storms come, these giants don't stand alone. Their roots intertwine underground, each tree supporting its neighbors. This is how we weather transformation, not through isolation, but sacred connection. The communities that will thrive through change are those where souls recognize and support each other beyond surface differences. Create a routine with 3 pillars: body, living, and natural foods that connect you to Earth's wisdom. Soul, daily silent prayer that builds your inner sanctuary. Spirit, symbolic study, and a journal of signs that strengthens your spiritual discernment. This tripod creates stability when everything else sways. Have you noticed how the birds continue singing even as the storm approaches? They instinctively know that life continues through cycles of destruction and renewal. Their song isn't denial but affirmation, a reminder that beauty persists even in upheaval. Let your own life be such a song. When your grandchildren ask you someday how you navigated these transformative times, what will you tell them? That you succumbed to fear? Or that you discovered reserves of courage, wisdom, and faith you never knew you possessed? The choices you make now write that future story. I believe we chose to be here now. Your soul selected this precise moment in Earth's history to be embodied because something in you carries the exact medicine this world needs. The very sensitivity that sometimes feels like a burden is actually your greatest gift to a world in transformation. The threshold between worlds has always been crossed by those willing to release the familiar without yet knowing what comes next. Like the Hebrew people following a pillar of fire through the desert night, we move forward guided by inner light rather than external certainty. When a caterpillar enters its chrysalis, its body dissolves into unrecognizable liquid before rebuilding into a butterfly. To the caterpillar, this must feel like death. To the butterfly, it was essential rebirth. We stand at this threshold now, between worlds, between identities, between frequencies of being. I stand with you in this sacred discomfort. I honor your courage to feel what others numb, to see what others deny, to hold space for truth when falsehood would be easier. Your sensitivity is not weakness. It is the future calling you forward as its witness and midwife. The earth needs her empaths now more than ever. Those who feel deeply become the compassionate bridges to what comes next. Your anxiety transforms into purpose when you recognize it as perception rather than pathology. Your dreams become maps when you honor them as messages rather than meaningless. In these times of profound transition, remember that you were born for this moment. Your soul chose this precise time to be embodied because something in you carries the exact medicine this world needs. The very sensitivity that sometimes feels like a burden is actually your greatest gift to a world in transformation. We are being called to create sanctuaries of peace in our homes and hearts, not by denying the reality of change, but by anchoring ourselves in what remains when everything temporary falls away. In the center of the storm lies perfect stillness. In the heart of chaos lives profound order. In the depth of uncertainty waits absolute trust. The next time you feel that strange trembling in your chest, that knowing without explanation, that love without object, pause and recognize it as your soul speaking its native language. You are remembering who you really are, beyond this temporary form, beyond this brief moment we call a lifetime. You are awakening to your eternal nature in perfect divine timing. When the world seems most alien and your heart most tender, look up at the night sky. Those stars have witnessed countless civilizations rise and fall, countless souls journey through form and back to spirit. Yet here they remain, constant in their shining. So too does your essence remain, unwavering, undimmed, eternally connected to everything. The coming days may bring more intensity, more unveiling, more transformation. But I promise you this: nothing essential can ever be lost. The love you've given has already become permanent in the fabric of existence. The wisdom you've earned travels with your soul across all dimensions. The connections that matter most transcend physical separation. Today, place your hand on your heart and whisper, "I am ready to become what I already am." Feel the truth of those words resonating in your cells. The greatest journey isn't to some distant shore but to the center of your own being, where past and future dissolve into the eternal now, where separation reveals itself as illusion, where love proves to be the only reality that ever existed. In the quiet dawn of this new world, when the dust of transformation settles and the light of truth illuminates everything, we will recognize each other instantly, not by our faces or names, but by the familiar resonance of our souls. Until then, trust the invisible bridge between us, the silent wisdom guiding you, and the love that never dims but only changes form. Your heart already knows the way home.